What's up, guys? Ivan Carranza here, and I suck at bass. That's something that I definitely tell myself when I'm working on stuff and it's not working, or I'm struggling, or I cannot play something, and that happens. I think it happens to everyone, but this is something that I've been facing a bit more recently because I've started taking some lessons again after quite some time that I haven't. And it made me realize a couple of things that I want to share with you. But before we begin, let me say that this is not a video, me crying about anything. It's more like, hey, this is what I've learned. Let me share it with you. So this year I have more time in my hands because I don't have as many gigs, and which is a good thing because the last year and also the last 3 years have been pretty crazy in terms of shows. I've traveled a lot. I've played a lot of shows all over the place. And now I have some time on my hands to work on stuff that I want to work on or that I'm particularly interested in. So I decided to reach out and take some lessons. I reached out to Steve Jenkins, who you probably might know. If not, go check him out. He's an amazing bass player, lives in LA. And I also reached out to Matt McCormack, who I found out through Instagram because he also plays a Dingwall bass now. And he's an amazing bass player as well. A lot of groove, a lot of pocket, but also a lot of soloing and phrasing abilities, right? And what made me want to take these lessons is because in the show of Dr. Crapula, there's one spot where I have to take a solo. And I was feeling like I was being a bit limited in terms of what I wanted to play. It wasn't going in the direction that I wanted it to go. And it's like a spot, it's not like a jazz solo, or I don't have to solo through changes and play, melodic lines all over the place. It's more like a groove-oriented solo. It's just drums and me. But still, I felt I was feeling a bit limited, right? So I just reached out because I wanted some feedback. And during the lessons, I realized that, those two guys were on a completely different universe playing-wise than where I am. And that is not a bad thing because, of course, you cannot know everything. It's impossible to be good at everything. And there are things that I just haven't worked on at all, or I haven't worked on in a long time, right? So things are kind of rusty. And it's not like they criticized my playing or they, pointed out any flaws or whatever. They were super supportive, very open to share and talk and address a lot of things. So I definitely recommend hitting them up for lessons if you're interested, because it's been a real eye-opening situation for me, and I'm definitely going to do it again. I definitely felt like, wow, I kind of suck at this. I'm really bad. I need to definitely put in the hours on this. But instead of feeling frustrated because of that, I am pretty motivated at the moment to work on stuff and explore and check out ideas, concepts, and go out a bit of my comfort zone to learn new stuff. And one of them being, for example, Steve Jenkins just told me, hey, you should check out the album Thrust by Herbie Hancock. Paul Jackson plays on there. And I knew the album. I know about that because the Headhunters period of Herbie Hancock, but I never really sat down and started to transcribe the thing, learn the lines and play them and get them to sound good and feel good. And then, of course, what you transcribe, analyze it and internalize it and apply it to a lot of different things. So I'm in that process right now. I've been transcribing stuff from that album, Thrust, and also from the other one that I really like, which is Man-Child. I've always liked this song, but I never really sat down to learn how to play it, which is Hang Up Your Hang-Ups, which is this. And recently I've been working on Palm Grease. And I'm gonna keep working on those songs and that material of the album, because there's just so much to learn from that. Like I said, just first of all, picking stuff by ear, then finding out how to play it. And especially because Paul Jackson does a lot of weird stuff, like a lot of high ups, slides, and little bends. Pretty unique phrasing, I would say. So figuring all of that and still land on the pocket, on the groove, and then timing and note placement, note duration. It's been pretty quite a learning experience so far, and I'm not even half through. And then with Matt, he showed me some things about the pentatonic use that I had never really thought about using the more of the ninth of the scale, which actually is not there, so it's a hexatonic scale. And also how to move a bit about the fretboard in a way that the way he sees things, which is always interesting because you always see things from your perspective on how to navigate the fretboard. But when you take a lesson from somebody like one of those two guys or somebody that's really, really good, and you get a glimpse of how they approach things, how they see the fretboard, how they connect notes and so on, it's super, super interesting. So like I said, instead of being like, oh wow, I'm really bad, at certain things, I'm pretty excited at the moment that I get to approach the instrument from a different perspective, from a different angle right now. And this is a process that's gonna take time. I've been working on these things for the last couple of weeks, and I'm still nowhere near where I would like to be. But I can definitely tell that, little by little, step by step, things are opening up a bit more. I'm starting to see more things, connecting things a bit differently. And just like I said, learning all those grooves on those albums and be able to play them, it definitely improves your chops in general, but also like everything in terms of making music, listening, learning stuff, adapting, and grooving to it. So I guess the point of this video is that, it's always good to ask for feedback. It's always good to, admit to yourself, hey, I'm not good at this, but then what are you going to do about it? What are you doing to correct that or to improve that? Are you going to put in the hours? Are you going to sit down and work on it, even though maybe sometimes it's not as exciting? Because I'm not going to lie, some things have been very frustrating, like transcribing some things. I'm like, what is he playing there? Like, oh man, it's actually not that complicated and I cannot even play it properly. Or I cannot get it up to speed and make it sit in the pocket. So I'm also banging into walls sometimes. But like I said, seeing it from the bigger picture and like knowing that every session that you put in, every minute that you invest, 5 minutes in or 10, 15, whatever. I also have limited time, but every little bit counts towards, making you a better musician. And there's of course all the benefits that come from the dedication of practicing and learning and so on. But yeah, I guess the point of this video is like, hey, it's okay to be bad at some things, but hopefully you're doing something to improve them. So I would definitely recommend taking a lesson from any great player that's local to you, or of course the internet is a great place, and nowadays with Zoom, with Teams, Skype, you name it, you can take lessons from anyone from all over the world. And I can definitely recommend hitting up Steve or Matt because they have been super, super helpful. Hope you guys liked the video. Like I said, this has been pretty interesting and eye-opening for me. So I'd be curious to know if you're currently taking lessons, and if not, what are you currently working on? So again, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.